I worked at the company that became Slack, but when it was still a game. So I don't know how many of you guys know this, but Slack was originally a game called Glitch, and I was the head of design on Glitch. We sort of had a product a little bit like Slack internally for developing the game. Then I left, and they pivoted and made Slack, which worked out very nicely for me. And then GV was an investor in Slack, so I got to work with them again, which was really cool. And I actually worked specifically on the onboarding system for a couple of weeks with the Slack team. So I'm not going to take very much credit for their onboarding system. But I had a little bit of visibility into the work that this woman, Mercy Grace, and her team were doing. That was really phenomenal. And yeah, it's a freemium model, right? It's a really interesting challenge with Slack because you guys, how many of you use Slack? This is why it worked out really well for me. So the trick with Slack, and you might all forget this now that you're so familiar with it, is the first person who uses Slack is in a room all by themselves. And the first pitch when they describe it to you is like, it's a chat for your team. And you're like, why the fuck would I want that? I've got email, I've got maybe HipChat, which already existed, or we use WhatsApp, like it seems fine. Like why would we want that thing? And then you create an account and you log in and you're sitting there all by yourself. And you're like, hello. Like almost everybody types something like that in the chat first. And they're like, hello. And it just goes in and nothing happens. And Stuart and Mercy had this idea that like, what you had to do is graduate somebody as that you could get an okay one-player experience, so you're not entirely alone in there, and then convince them to invite one other person. So I think that's been one of those areas where design has had a really positive impact on the sales experience because like we were getting familiar with the idea that like everyone hates a salesperson calling them, and everyone wants to actually try the software before they use it. Slack's obviously not the first people to invent this system. Games have been doing it for a really long time, and other software was doing it as well. But yeah, I think it's a great trend. Yeah. Was that your question?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I mean, I think it's a great trend because it's customer friendly and business friendly. Like, oh, what a nice marriage.